Good Saturday evening, everyone. I'm WCIA3 meteorologist Jacob Dickey with an update for you on some severe storms pushing through parts of central Illinois. Got a handful of warnings and a tornado watch out until 8 o'clock tonight with some of these strong to severe storms pushing through the area. And so we're going to join you on digital platforms to keep you updated on some of these storms as we continue to watch things play out here. I want to mention first off, we've got Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty in the field. We'll talk with him in a minute here. And you can see his stream on the right side of there. And Kevin, we can see you now. We'll come to you in a second here. We want to take a look at the StormTracker camera, though. And he's heading south now towards the Clinton area. We'll check in with him momentarily. I do really quickly want to get the warnings up to you, and then we'll talk to Kevin, and he can share what he's seen across the area. Let's take a look here at radar and bring it up close. We're going to talk here on the screen and show you some of these severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place. This warning right here is for Mclean County. A severe thunderstorm centered over Downs, just to the south and east of Bloomington Normal, has ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. The ping pong ball size hail was reported to the National Weather Service, and this storm is carrying off to the north and east. Here's I-55, there's I-74. Bloomington Normal sits here. Champaign-Urbana is just down there, and you're seeing those that warning continue here. I'll zoom it in a little bit. Moving to the north and east, about 45 to 50 mile per hour. That's going to bring it very close here, just north of Leroy, Moraine View State Park, Aerosmith, Anchor, Colfax, Cropsey, Lexington, Myrna, Cooksville in the path of this storm with some half ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. An earlier storm that was just upstream, it's weakened quite a bit north of Lexington. That's centered over Chenoa. Did at one point have a 67-mile-per-hour wind gust west of Bloomington near Stanford. Produced some winds out there, and we continue to watch closely. Just got a report from Downs just now of quarter-size hail with that storm. That one just coming hot across the press with there. Then they got the storm here west of Dwight. That's exiting our area into Grundy County. We're not worried about that one as we continue to watch these storms here. This storm has been interesting in southeast of Bloomington. For a little while, we've had Kevin with a little bit... in fact, back in the back, let's be ready. It sounds like they're going to be going with a tornado warning very quickly in Mclean County. There's a good chance, according to the National Weather Service, the developing wall cloud and tightening rotation in that area. Make sure Kevin's heard that. So in the back, be ready for that phone call as soon as I give you so we can get on air and get things. That just coming across. Still a severe thunderstorm warning, but that area of rotation is going to be very near right there. There it is. All right, let's make the call in the back, and we're going to cut into coverage here as quick as we can. And let me know in the back. We'll just go, and you just take control here. Again, a tornado warning just issued for Mclean County. A tornado warning for Mclean County just came across. Give me a countdown in the back, and we'll let you take care of that. So that tornado now is going to be northwest of Leroy, near Bentown Holder. Area of rotation now moving off to the north and east. We're going to get a social media post here, doing some multitasking, and get some coverage in here. I'm WCIA3 meteorologist Jacob Dickey. We are bringing you some live coverage now. A tornado warning just issued moments ago. This is going to be for Mclean County. We've got a area of rotation that the National Weather Service has determined is likely to produce a tornado here momentarily. This is the storm here that's been a menace for us as it's moving off to the north and east at about 45 miles an hour. The warning includes the east side of Bloomington Normal. If you're in downtown Bloomington, points to the west on the Interstate 55 or even down towards Interstate 74. You not included in this. The tornadic circulation now is near Holder, moving off to the north and east. It'll be moving towards Cooksville, Aerosmith, Anchor, Colfax, and Cropsey. Let's take a look closer here and show you where that area of rotation is as we continue to monitor this new update from the National Weather Service, the tornado warning until 7:15 for the storm now just north of Downs. I'm going to drop some of this data and take a look closer at it here. And we'll show you where that little circulation is here. This is Route 9. Route 9 from Gibson City all the way into Bloomington. It's going to be at Route 9 and 165 south of Myrna. There's a little Myrna Tap up there, a little bar restaurant that's real good to eat. That circulation just south of there by about 2 miles, and it will be carrying off to the north and east towards Cooksville and Colfax. The other thing that catches my eye here looking at this is this right here, these bright pinks, an indication of some very strong winds carrying to the north and east, wrapping around here. Likely 60 to 70 mile per hour winds coming in to Ellsworth and Aerosmith, Cooksville and Colfax in this tornado warning. While that circulation we watch here now very near Bentown, it's going to be on near 165 and Route 9. Let's go ahead and talk about the area at large, and then we'll check in with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty in a moment here as we continue to watch this new tornado warning. There also has been some reports of quarter to ping pong ball sized hail. And this storm has been moving off to the north and east again. It's going to be for Mclean County, but I want to give an area-wide view of that before we toss to Kevin and talk to him. Do you have a severe thunderstorm warning in Christian, Shelby, and Macon counties? That storm near Taylorville is carrying off to the north and east at about 45 miles an hour. And severe thunderstorm warning also in Livingston County is in place. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get a hold of Kevin now. And Kevin, you were just on that storm. We're watching that other storm as well. We saw during the 6 o'clock news you showing us an area of lowering and some motion. Tell us what you saw and where you're at now and what your plans are.
Yeah, so I've been in the StormTracker here. I've been just kind of following along these storms for much of the night. I'm literally now wedged right in between the two cells that are currently warned. I was watching that storm that was up near Bloomington. I'll put my camera towards the back. You're now looking south, or I should say you're now looking back to the north towards that storm near Bloomington. And I'm actually diving south myself because I want to catch that storm that is going through kind of the Taylorville area west of Moequa. And so I'm going to be coming into Forsyth here in the next few minutes. So I'm going to be coming into the north side of this storm here. We're going to probably cord punch that and kind of get through down to the bottom side of that storm. But that storm earlier, that is tornado warned. The one that we are talking about, as you mentioned, we were showing you there at 6 o'clock. It was a decent looking storm. Definitely was starting to get more of that lowering, the best lowering we had seen here pretty much all day. And you know, now it's kind of ramping up. It's got that little kink in the line, and that's going to be just northwest of Ellsworth where that kink in the line is located, and that's where that possible tornado is, as you mentioned, heading towards, you know, the Cooksville, Colfax, Anchor area. Definitely need to be in their safe spots as that lifts off to the north and east. So again, my plan here is to catch this storm that's to my south, and that's going to be the one that's coming into the Macon area, Moequa here in the next little bit, Assumption. It's the one that's moving through Taylorville. It's also had some rotation with it as well, very broad, but it is currently severe thunderstorm warned, and the one that we are concerned about there with the little kink in the line where there might be a tornado going up into Mclean County. That I'll let Jacob track a little bit more, and we'll keep you up to date. And when we get on this southern storm, again, I'm coming into Forsyth right now, and we'll be encountering and intercepting that storm here very shortly.
All right, thanks for your report, Kevin. We are keeping a close eye to the sky, of course. I do want to mention a couple of things. We know there are some proms tonight. In particular, tonight in Mclean County, there is prom for Leroy High School and Ridgeview High School. Both Leroy and Ridgeview High School are heading to Bloomington and Towanda. You'll want to hold. Head to the basements in those areas and wait until the storm passes here. It'll be through very quickly, moving off to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. This tornadic storm now is near Cooksville. As it carries to the north and east, in the next 15-20 minutes, it'll be out of there. There's also some hail to deal with that, according to the National Weather Service. So again, a call now for folks with prom with Leroy High School and Ridgeview High School to shelter now with those storms coming. We are going to zoom in on this particular tornado warned storm and watch it closely and give you an up-close view. Here it is now, Bloomington normal proper. We can give you all clear. Towanda, we can give you all clear. It's the folks driving in between there now. Ellsworth sits right here. There's Fletcher. You've got Colfax and Cooksville. Anchor sits right here. Cropsey's up here. There's Gibson City. We'll take a look at our Gibson City camera here in a minute as this storm moves off to the north and east. We'll mention, while there is for sure some rotation, there's also been some hail, quarter to ping pong ball size hail with this storm as it lifts off to the north and east, and that's been reported as far back as Atlanta and in the Hayworth area here with this storm. Let's take a look real quick at our sky cams. I want to switch to my Gibson City sky cam as well. That's the Decatur one, the Gibson City one coming up momentarily. This one looks to the north and west. I think Gibson City, you will be south of the tornado warning. I don't expect it to be in Gibson City from this particular storm, but we think the chances there that it may very well be moving in the general direction to the north of there towards Sibley, and eventually we may think Fairbury and Forest is downstream from that. That's all something we're going to watch and keep a close eye on here as we move on through. We're going to take a look at radar here, and I'm going to switch the graphics. I also want to spend a little time to the south in a moment, and so let's switch over to our radar scope product. This is another thing. We like to look at these storms as many ways as possible. This here is Mclean County. There's Route 9 now. Anyone south of Route 9 is likely getting strong wind wrapping around. See these bright shades of pink here? That's north of Leroy. Moraine View State Park sits right here. You've got the big wind farm that stretches in this area. Colfax is here. Cooksville. Anchor is over here, and then you've got Myrna and Fletcher in this area on 165, which snakes on the way over towards Sibley right there. The circulation is not all that significant right now, but there's still enough signs of right here, very brief circulation that could put down a tornado about halfway between Lexington and Leroy here on the north side of Route 9. It's moving off to the north and east. It's also going to be wrapped up in the rain right there. You place your finger and we go back and forth and look at that here. I think it's going to be red line, center line towards Colfax. The call to action now for Colfax and Cooksville and Cropsey and Anchor and Ellsworth is going to be to lowest floor of your home. Go to your lowest floor, the interior structure, and shelter in place there until this storm passes. Not only will we have the chance for a tornado, but also see this bowing section right here. That's a sign of a lot of strong winds wrapping around in the backside here. Likely 60 to 70 mile per hour winds here coming in just south of where that circulation is. So any way you look at it, this storm has hail, wind, and even the chance for a tornado in that area. Let's take a zoom forth. I want to drop south real quick. We need to show some love for our friends in Macon, Shelby, and Christian counties. This line right here has a lot of wind and a lot of hail with it. In fact, it looks like there's a hail course centered from Taylorville south towards the lake and the golf course. You head northeast from Taylorville towards Decatur. You'll hit Stonington and Booty, Macon, Mowequa. Just a severe thunderstorm warning now. But we like to just keep our eyes on things and look here. Looks like there's for sure some wind in this area. The difference in colors sticking out to me, and likely that leading edge of wind sits right here. There's Blue Mound. There's Stonington. Booty sits right here. There's Elwyn, Macon, Mowequa. I think that leading edge of wind now is coming in from Mowequa towards Macon. I know Macon tonight also having prom in Decatur as this storm moves off to the north and east. Eventually downstream, this will head towards Mount Zion and Long Creek. At this point, this storm to me seems more of a straight line wind threat, but we will still watch for the same thing to happen with the chance for something to spin up. So again, there is the storm in Mclean County. This right here, an indication of some really strong wind along Route 9. I don't think at this point there's signs that there's as strong of a circulation here to the east of Towanda, southwest of Colfax, but the wind still to me is very concerning. And if I just check some of that here, that's going to be winds of 60 to 65 mile per hour indicated by radar, maybe upwards of 70 mile per hour above the surface. A lot of strong straight line winds continuing off to the north and east. This tornado warning will expire at 7:15. So shelter in place still for Ellsworth, Colfax, Cropsey, Towanda, Lexington, Bloomington normal, Downs. You're all clear from this particular storm. Saybrook, this storm will be just to the north of you. If you got the Saybrook curves here and off to the north and west, it's going to include you. And if we zoom out a little bit, here's Gibson City, there's Sibley, there's Strawn. This is Illinois 47 right here. A lot of the strong wind eventually going to be heading towards Sibley and Garber and even up towards Strawn, Risk, and it may even carry off towards Chatsworth in the direction that it's heading. Just kind of widening out here real quick, and I'm going to hit the reset button. Still just one tornado warning right now for Mclean County. We've got this severe thunderstorm warning here. Taylorville sits right there. We've got Montgomery County now added to our severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like we've dropped the severe thunderstorm warning for Livingston County, including Pontiac. That's something good that we like to see here into the region. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look at radar here again and talk about what we're looking at. Before we do that, I do want to mention our tornado watch does go until 8 o'clock tonight. That's going to be for much of the area here. Still, that threat continues for the next little while as we continue to monitor things. We are getting some of these little circulations, and that sometimes happen. All right, just got a report from Mclean County. Let's go ahead and take me on screen here. This report just coming in, a spotter reporting a tornado on the ground at 3200 east and 1700 north. That's going to be in east of Bloomington here. Let me find an exact location of that real fast. That's going to be near Cooksville, yeah. 3200 east, 1700 north, and that looks like it's going to be about 2 miles southwest of Colfax or 3 miles east of Cooksville. That's a report coming in now from his trained spotter of a tornado just southwest of Colfax. Now, this time the call to action for Colfax here. Again, this is what you do in a tornado warning. And we can go ahead and take this graphic full so people can read it at home. Remember, we're streaming on our digital platforms. You can open up through Facebook, head to WCIA, listen to us. You can head to the app. We're streaming there as well. We're on TV. Turn the volume up. You want to proceed to your safe place. Mobile homes, you got to get out of them here. They're not safe during severe weather like this with tornadoes and wind. Get out of a car as well. No driving in this tornado warning. You want to find the nearest substantial shelter. In, down, and up. Inside, most interior room, down as low as you can, a basement, crawl space, or a bathroom, and cover up. Blankets, pillows, mattresses. We'll give you the all clear. We've already given the all clear to Bloomington Normal, but it seems like now there's a report of a tornado on the ground just southwest of Colfax. We're going to get a double check from the EMA office. They just reported that to us here, so we'll see if that ends up being the case. If it is on the ground, it's a very weak circulation at this point. It's nothing that it's hard to see at this point on radar much more than the wind, regardless, to me really sticks out here, and that sometimes can very much spin up one of those tornadoes in the area, and that may be very much what we have here. I'm going to pull up our debris tracker, and I don't see anything. That area is going to be southwest of Colfax. It's going to be in this area right here. As we look, it's just southwest of Colfax, and nothing sticks out to me at this point saying it's a confirmed tornado, but there's eyes in the ground saying that they do have one. So we'll trust that and get updates on that report and see if that pans out. But we do know there's a lot of strong straight line winds coming here. If I take a look at some of this wind that's now southeast of Cooksville, there's the tornado warning. I want to see the wind velocity is estimating 68 mile per hour winds now north of Aerosmith and northeast of Ellsworth. So likely going to be a lot of rain and a lot of strong winds. And if there's that tornado here, I'll draw it out for you so you get an idea of what we're looking at. There's the winds blowing out. Your tornado would be spinning up somewhere in this area. Understand that radar is behind a little bit. So by now, that storm has moved off to the north and east and is probably very close to Colfax based on what we're seeing on this point here. We're going to pull up that Apple TV again and take a look at radar in another way. I really like to look at these storms as many ways as possible. At this point, there's Colfax in the center of your screen. It looks like you're about out of time here in Colfax. And that tornado now is moving towards Colfax, Anchor, and Cropsey. Cooksville, give me some more time to get this storm past you. I think at this point, south of Route 9 in Mclean County and west of I-55 in Mclean County, you're all clear. But right there near Colfax is very much where we've got to watch. Pretty close there. There's your little circulation somewhere in here. That strong wind, though, man, there's going to be a lot of wind coming in from Aerosmith, Colfax, Anchor, Moraine View State Park also. Probably got a lot of wind there. I know there's people taking advantage of the nice weather to go camping. We're also checking reports from, let's see, I just saw something from my friend Austin. Austin, if you could send me a text what you're trying to see here, I'd appreciate that. my friend Austin, he's in that area. He's from Cooksville. We went to college together. He's tried to send me something here. If you could just text that to me, Austin, that'd be helpful, and we can take a look at that and keep an eye on it. Again, this is for Mclean County at this point. Downstream would be eventually Colfax, Anchor, Sibley. There's going to be a lot of wind north of Route 9. Aerosmith, a lot of wind just along Route 9 there, moving off to the north and to the east. Let's go ahead and hit the reset button here and take an area-wide view, because there's a number of other storms we've got to watch here. There's, in fact, a new warning for Livingston County. Severe thunderstorm warning for Livingston County. We've got a severe thunderstorm near Pontiac moving off to the north and east. We're going to zoom in on that here and keep an eye on it. Okay, just getting that information here. Okay, he's sending me a picture from that area. I'll show you the picture. There it is, that new tornado warning. That pink box just came on in. Confirmed tornado now in Mclean County near Colfax. They say it's moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. We'll take a look at the Gibson City sky cam to the north and west. And in fact, I'm going to walk to the wall and point a few things out to you before I show this photo from I just got from my friend Austin in Mclean County. What we're seeing here is this is the view to the northwest there. This here is a West Road, 19th Street. This is Melvin. We're sitting at the hospital at this camera, looking to the northwest. Our possible area of rotation in the strong winds is this right here, straight to the west. That's where that circulation is going to be that has that confirmed tornado now moving directly towards Colfax. As it moves off to the north and east, then very ominous look here. It's a little far away. I don't have the ability to zoom in, but we know that there's a report from a spotter, and the National Weather Service has confirmed that tornado now just southwest of Colfax, and it's in that range there. I'm going to switch to my phone again and show you that photo, and then I'll walk back to the wall here as we've got this confirmed tornado now in Mclean County. And let's see if this works the way I want it to here. This photo coming in from Mclean County, I think, shows the storm best here. What we're looking at is a view of that. You'll see that almost curved shape on it there. Again, this is near southwest of Colfax. If there's the tornado, it is wrapped up here on the right side. He's looking off to the west there towards the northwest. It's going to be wrapped in up here in that rain. So it'll be very hard to see. I think a trained spotter would be able to pick it out in that rain if they're in the right spots. But certainly that also is a sign to me that there's a lot of strong wind and likely some fairly substantial hail in there too, quarter to ping pong ball size based on what the National Weather Service has reported in the area here. Okay, we do know sirens are sounding in Colfax. And we know sirens are sounding in Cropsey as this storm moves off to the north and east from this tornado warning that's in the area as we continue to watch. Want to just real quick make sure I'm not missing anything. And if you've got a report for us too, feel free to send us a report on the social media chat. We're on Facebook Live, and we will take those reports as we can get them. I'm going to switch over here to another radar. Again, as many eyes as we can get on this, and to pick this out here. So there's Colfax right now, the storm rolling into Colfax. We've got a couple of spotters that are out there right now reporting on things in the area. This storm going to be moving off to the north and east. Colfax, you're out of time. Anchor, you've got to get to shelter here. Cropsey, the same for you. Cooksville, I'll give you an all clear. If you're in Cooksville, I'll give you an all clear in Aerosmith, Ellsworth, Saybrook. The storm going to move off to the north and east. Eventually, it'll be heading towards in Livingston County, Strawn, Risk, Forest, Chatsworth. I think it'll say south of Fairbury. I do know in Livingston County we've got Prairie Central that is having prom in Fairbury. We're aware of that, and we know that we'll be keeping an eye on them. And of course, say that one more time. Yes, Ridgeview. Ridgeview's prom night as well here. So we're watching both Ridgeview and we're watching both Prairie Central at this point. And Jalen in the back, you probably have some connections from up there. If you get any information, let us know here what we've got. Okay, still reporting that tornado here near Colfax, and we're going to switch over to our velocity product. The other thing that sticks out to me, if you're down in Route 9 here, a lot of that strong wind wrapping on in there to the south side here. That strong wind's going to head towards Sibley. The tornado stays north, but I think there's going to be a lot of wrapping wind around the south side here, heading eventually towards Sibley along 165 between Anchor and Sibley. It seems like the circulation maybe not as evident. I'm going to take a look here at some other product. It's going to be very near Colfax. In this area right here is what we're seeing. The spotters reporting they're no longer able to see the tornado. It is wrapped up in rain, but there's multiple spotters that have reported this into the area. And so we're going to see if we can't get any other reports or confirmation from that area. Again, a confirmed tornado near Cooksville and Colfax at this point. We're watching our chat and keeping as much information as we can. We know there's prom night for a lot of folks, and so we're going to keep a close eye on things here. There's a look at our Gibson City sky cam. Again, that dark mass to the just center left of the camera is the heavy rain. That's not the tornado. That's the heavy rain that is wrapped around the tornado. And it's something we're going to monitor very closely here for a while longer until the warning drops. The tornado warning for Mclean County goes until 7:15. And this storm will stay north of Gibson. I think it stays just north of Sibley, but the wind on the south side may get Sibley here. If the tornadic circulation continues to the north and east, it'll be a southern Livingston County problem very quickly here. Do have a couple of new warnings we want to talk about. In fact, getting a new severe thunderstorm warning for a number of counties here. It's going to be for Ford, Iroquois, Livingston County, and we're also going to check back on with our friends in Christian County. Of course, the focus tonight is on our confirmed tornado that's near Cooksville and Colfax. That storm now is moving through Colfax off to the north and east towards Cropsey and Anchor. We're here live on TV and on our digital platforms for that. But we do want to take a look at some of these other storms real quick. Look at the storm down here now just south of Macon County and south of Decatur in Macon County, I should say. A lot of lightning here. Taylorville, it's past you. We can give you the all clear. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, and that warning in particular is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. And as I take a look here and clear some data off, we'll look at this warning. That warning is going to go for Christian, Macon, Moultrie, and Shelby County until 7:15 also. At this point, the strongest part of the storm is crossing US 51 here from Assumption up towards Mowequa, towards Macon and Elwyn. It'll be on the southeast side of Decatur as well by the hospital there along the lake. I'm going to pull up our Decatur camera as well, and I think I've got that pointed to the south end east, and so if you can double box that camera for me, we'll get a double look here from the Decatur camera. If not, I'll turn it in the right direction, and then we're going to check in with Kevin as well, as I think he's close to that storm. Here you can see in Decatur momentarily. Yeah, go ahead and do the triple box, and I can switch that camera there on the top right. That's the Springfield one. We're going to switch to the Decatur. So we're looking at the storm here. The Decatur one, you're seeing a lot of the wind and even likely some small hail up in that area. That's going to be the top right of your screen. Champaign, we're fine here in Champaign County at this point. These storms are coming our way. We're going to keep a very close eye on things, though. This severe thunderstorm warning continues until 7:15. I think the storm probably going to be mainly a hail concern at this point for me, but likely some strong winds. You can see a lot of that rain there from our Decatur camera on the Flooring America iNet. We do know Kevin is in that area as well. I think he's kind of snaking his way down. Is Kevin able to talk? Can you hear us, Kevin?
Yep.
Kevin, go ahead and tell us where you are and what you've been seeing as you're approaching this storm in Macon County.
Yeah, okay, so I'm actually in Cerro Gordo right now. I'm trying to get ahead of that storm that is coming in my direction. And here in just, well, if you can come back to me here in about 2 minutes, I'm going to have a great view looking right into that storm. So I'm snaking my way through Cerro Gordo. If you've ever kind of drove through here before, you kind of turning on a bunch of different streets here to get through. But when I come out the other side, and actually it's probably going to be coming up here in just a second when we come up to this Casey's gas station here. We're crossing the railroad tracks here, and then once I get up here, we're going to look right into that storm that is down into Macon County, and it has, you know, a pretty good area of wind associated with it, and it is rolling right through, just past through the southeast side of Decatur and to Mount Zion here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my camera back over to the front here, and we're going to be passing by Cerro Gordo High School, and here on the left the Casey's. And so coming up here on the right is going to be that storm that we're going to be looking directly into, that's got some fairly strong winds with it. Again, we are coming here, and it's going to be just past the Kirby Medical Group here that's on to the right. And so we're going to get up into a kind of a clearer spot here, and you're going to see that storm that's kind of coming in. And so again, this storm right now is a severe thunder, and actually I believe just a new warning just got issued on that. And so I am going to be right here in Cerro Gordo. I want to be looking into that area near Mount Zion. There's a little bit of a kink there, okay? And I want you to look at that on the velocity, Jacob. There's kind of a kink on that, and I'm wondering if that new warning has a tornado possible tag on it, because I wouldn't be surprised, because that thing right there is looking a little bit more organized in that kink that's south of Long Creek and near Mount Zion there. So we're going to be watching that there. I'll let you talk about this newest warning, and I'm going to continue to position here as this storm comes right at me.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Again, that new severe thunderstorm warning, it actually does not include the tornado possible tag, Kevin, but the National Weather Service does say there may be a hint of rotation in there, so they are watching it closely and keeping an eye on it. So we're going to watch with them, of course. We do have that storm right here. So there's Cerro Gordo. Kevin just passed the Casey's to the south side, and on his screen there, if we can keep that that triple box up, I'd like to point out some things. He's now turned to the south there. So on the right side of his screen, in the bottom corner there, he's heading south towards that storm now. We'll be looking at it. It's now crossing into Mount Zion right now. And in Macon County, I know that we've got the Meridian School District is having problem in Macon. Moreau Forsyth is down in Decatur. They'll be okay. And then we've got the Lutheran School Association in Decatur also is having prom in Decatur. I think the Decatur proms are okay, but the Meridian one, a lot of wind and hail in that area now. And you can almost see that backwards C shape right here where the wind is surging. That corresponds with what Kevin's looking there on the bottom right of your screen as he continues to drive south down Illinois 32 towards LaPlace. And he'll probably, I think, at some point take a turn and give us an even better view and a better report. Also going to be some hail and wind with that. That wind signature does stick out, but the hail report is certainly something we'll continue to watch. They're saying that it has quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Let's real quick pop on our velocity, and where this wind is surging near Dalton City and Mount Zion, that will continue to the north and east. Piatt County now in the warning, Moultrie County in the warning. Champaign County is not in the warning. It does look like it's going to be for southern Piatt from I-72 south for a severe thunderstorm warning. We sometimes can get this wind surge here, and you'll get a circulation to develop. Kevin can hear me. There's a report of a funnel cloud in the area of Mount Zion, so we will check back in with him. That's coming from the Macon County Dispatch near Dalton City Turn in the south side of Mount Zion. Somewhere in here, maybe, I think more than anything, they're seeing that shelf cloud based on what I'm saying on velocity. Still, the severe thunderstorm warning is for wind and hail. A little further to the south and west, we'll again cover real fast here. Assumption, Moweaqua, a lot of wind, a lot of rain in that area. It seems like the hail maybe to the north and east, although certainly some hail in Moweaqua points to the east and north towards the Dalton City area, and so we'll be watching this storm. I want to mention also another storm further down the line here. This is going to be in Montgomery County. There's a severe thunderstorm south of Hillsboro. We'll watch that. That would carry in the direction of Shelby County eventually, but I don't have any immediate concerns in that. We'll be keeping an eye from afar on that. Still, of course, we're here for our tornado warning that continues on television for Mclean County. And from what I'm seeing here is we've got the National Weather Service saying there's still some circulation wrapped in there, but it looks like it's weakening a bit. I don't want to give an all clear quite yet. Give me a few more minutes. I can give the all clear for Cooksville, areas south and west of Colfax. Route 9, you're all clear from the tornado threat, but there's still certainly a lot of wind now heading towards Anchor and Cropsey, and that wind will carry into Livingston and Ford counties. Let's take a look at our Gibson City Skycam again one last time. There's the Decatur one, as that storm is just south there. We're looking to the south and I believe we're looking to the south and east there. I'm going to reset this real quick to look towards ADM in the east. And yeah, so that's looking southeast. Now we're looking more to the east. There's a nice, hey, look at that right there, popping around. You know, you're getting a quick view of the rainbow right here on our Decatur camera. You can see it right there as we look to the east towards the ADM plant. And I honestly do see some decent structure on the back side here. As we watch this, right in here. Can we bring the Decatur camera full screen real fast? on the back side, you're able to make out a little bit of that lowering there on the back side. That's the wind that's pushing forward. It's moving away from the camera. And then let's bring the StormTracker full screen to watch that, where Kevin is. Kevin, they just reported quarter-size hail in Mount Zion. They have also just added that tornado possible tag for that storm. You're getting up close into that storm there. Give us a report on what you're seeing.
All right, so yeah, I'm looking into that storm here. Again, that rotation could even actually be kind of on that back side of this here. It's kind of hard to tell now. I'm looking right into this thing. Literally, this thing is heading directly for me. This is coming in my direction. You can kind of see the structure of that storm that's right here. And when we kind of get past some of these buildings here, you're going to have another kind of a clearer view here. I am traveling south of Cerro Gordo, going to be coming into the Laplace area, but I'm gonna try to pull over here in just a second. We're going to pull out the camera and then get you kind of a better view of that. So bear with me for a second as I kind of get here, because literally this thing is going to be on top of me, and if there's any kind of a tornado in here, we're going to be pretty much right in the exact position to capture it. If nothing else, we're about to get hit by some hail probably and some really strong winds. So I'm going to peel off here on a side road. We're going to pull out the camera and kind of show you another view of this here in just a moment. So bear with me here for a second.
Okay, no problem, Kevin. I want to pull up our Gibson City camera as well as we look to the north and west. That storm now firmly in the center of the screen as we pop that full here. That is our camera. The storm now starting to pass on by, and you're seeing on the back side there some of that clearing. Your storm's going to be more up here now to the northwest, heading towards Sibley, getting some wind and rain shortly. I think the circulation on radar, though, doesn't seem as impressive with that one, and that warning likely going to be dropped here at 7:15. If that happens, we'll go back to regular programming, but you can follow us on digital platforms here. But we do want to keep a very close eye on that storm to the south here. So once Kevin gets that set up, we'll go back to him for a report. Looks like at this point, I know with it's prom night in Ridgeview. Prom night for Colfax, the school district there. That storm is now moving out of Colfax. Give me a little bit more time, though. We've got another storm in the back side there. That's coming on in. And we'll be watching that one very closely here. Looks like they are going to drop that tornado warning in Mclean County here. So all clear from the immediate term for the tornado threat in Colfax at this point. So you can go back and start your dance at Ridgeview High School. Get some partying on here for prom night. Sorry to interrupt it with that tornado. We do have more storms we'll be watching from Ellsworth towards Leroy down towards Hayworth. No warning there, but we're going to watch that very closely and keep a close eye on it. Let's go ahead and take Kevin in now. Kevin, you are looking at that storm. Tell us what you're seeing. You're again by Mount Zion.
Yeah, literally, we are tracking the storm. We are right underneath this thing. I'm going to be south, again, east of Long Creek is where I'm located here, south of Cerro Gordo. This thing is coming in hot right now. You can see here's the heavy rain and possibly some of the hail pour, and you're looking at it right here. You can really see, look at the clouds that are really booking it here. You can see just how fast, probably hear obviously the wind on my mic as well. Sorry about that. It looks like my mic fell off there for a second. I apologize for that. The wind actually was blowing off. You can see, again, here's the storm. Look at this right above me. This is it right here. This is where there could be some circulation with this. Take a look at this right now. It's passing right over me as we speak. Okay, now you can see the sun. Look at how the sun that was there is being obscured by those the rain shafts there. But this thing right above me, this actually does have some circulation on it. You can kind of see it. I'm just going to hold it steady here, and you can kind of just watch the clouds as they're kind of moving across. And I'm about to get hit by the strong gusty winds with this, and then the rainfall here, and possibly some of the hail. So I'm going to give you this shot here from outside. Look at this. You can see it's kind of backlit. Look at those rain shafts that are back there as well. My hat's about to blow off. I'm going to pull on here. My hat just about to blow off because of how strong the winds are on the leading edge of this thing. This is the storm again that is located east of Long Creek, and it's going to be crossing over here before I'm going to swing this back around. Here's another view of the storm, and you can see it coming right over the top of me. You can see the trees that are really kind of waving here. We're going to look and see if we see any kind of a lowering or any circulation, but you can see the dust. Take a look at the dust across the fields here. The dust across the fields kicking up here as these winds come roaring across. You can feel the colder air. I'm going to have to get back in the vehicle here, but thunderstorm warned, tornado possible. I'm going to jump back in the vehicle. All right, Jake, I'm going to send it back to you because this thing's getting kind of wicked.
Yeah, that's right, Kevin. We've been hearing the wind whipping on through there. You're back in the StormTracker. We're going to keep a close eye. Let's keep the double box up on this here as we watch this storm. The report of a funnel cloud came from near Hervey City on 121 earlier at 7:04. And that's going to be about where that little area of circulation was here. You can see here, I backed it up a little bit. See where that backwards S shape is? Sometimes that's a sign of some rotation here. And so we continue to watch this here. Getting some reports of hail also in Blue Mound. And just seeing that, checking some of these reports and continuing to monitor real fast and more information. And so that is something to note. Let's talk about who's in this new warning for Moultrie and Piatt counties. I don't think that Champaign County is technically in it. It may be in there by accident at this point, the edge of the county. It looks like it's not. It's just going to be Douglas. It's going to be accidental Douglas County, I think. Most of Douglas County not in this here. It's going to be Douglas, Macon, Moultrie, Piatt, and then I guess a little sliver of Champaign County again. But for the most part, I-57 corridor at this point not in that warning here. You can see I-57, the severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag is now centered right near La Place, south of Cerro Gordo. That's where Kevin is here. This storm is carrying off to the north and east. Eventually, it is going to carry into Champaign County, and we will have to watch it very closely, especially here for Bement and Sedoras, and then areas towards Tolono, perhaps even south side of Champaign, and eventually east of Champaign towards Ogden and St. Joseph. And I know it's Ogden-St. Joseph prom night as well here as we continue to watch and monitor things. So we're going to watch and keep a very close eye on these. National Weather Service saying with this particular storm that the rotation has still broad, but has increased some. Let's take a closer look here and see if we're seeing what they are. As we look at velocity again, you see the rain, the spilt colors, that's an indication of how heavy the precip is. But when we look at these colors here, we're looking at how wind is moving relative to that. And this red, an indication of wind moving away, green moving towards. If there's a circulation, I think my best bet it would be potentially on the, be on the north side here, La Place and Cerro Gordo in that area. But it's not an immediate concern at this point. I know it's also prom night, I think, in Bement. Let me check my list here. Yeah, Bement's up in Monticello for prom night, and so I'm sure they're watching as well. And 105 taking the drive north here as this storm's coming on in. Further to the south, again, the severe thunderstorm warnings continue. I do want to revisit our storm in Mclean County. It's moving out of Mclean County, and it's moving into... Okay, I see Kevin's shot. We'll come to Kevin here momentarily. It's moving into Livingston County. That backward C shape, a strong indication of wind now. Prairie Central, Fairbury, Forest, Chatsworth, eventually Piper City. The tornado warning will be dropped here in just a couple of minutes. Let's go to Kevin real quick. He's looking at some of the strong wind and a lot of those low clouds moving on through. I hope it's not too loud. If it's too loud, we can cut back. But Kevin, can you talk to us and tell us what you're seeing down in southern Piatt County?
Yeah, these winds are still cranking here. I'm just kind of looking at, you can kind of see, this is kind of the inflow into the storm here. See kind of the low clouds here. You can see they're just really booking it. And I'm going to pan off here, okay, and bear with me as we kind of get another view. There's that leading edge of that, but we back it off here. This is the wind coming into the storm, and there is, this is kind of an area to kind of watch. Potentially there, for something. We're kind of looking back right into this, where that kink is in the line. We're going to peel off here in just a second and head towards Hammond and try to get kind of east of the storm again, get ahead of it. But you kind of see here, I mean, that's kind of a low-hanging kind of area right here on the back side of this as it's kind of rolling through. So again, just really strong winds on the leading edge of this right now. I haven't had any hail, but I tell you, the winds are extremely strong. All right, I'm going to reposition here as this is kind of that back edge of things. So we're going to send it back to you because it's really coming down now.
All right, thanks for that report, Kevin, from the StormTracker. We keep a close eye on all of our cameras. We've got Kevin in the field. He's being safe, and we're watching his shot on the right side of your screen. Of course, the sky cams in left side. Look at the sunset coming into Gibson City here as that storm now moves through the area. You can also watch our sky cams live on our website, WCIA.com. We continue to stream on television. We continue to stream on digital platforms, and I think we'll give it a couple of minutes just to make sure that storm now southeast of Decatur doesn't spin up, and that way we don't have to come back and cut away. We're just going to watch that closely here for a few more minutes, I think, before we make a decision on what happens. At this point, the tornado warning for Mclean County has been dropped. The severe threat not over, though. Once we get the storms there of Leroy out of there, I think then we can call an all clear. But Bloomington normal is done for the night with the severe threat here into the region. I'm going to pull up some more of these sky cams. Again, we've got the Decatur one. We'll pop that one on real quick here and take a look at that. And you see the back side of this storm. I'm going to move it around a little bit and get some eyes on what it looks like. Kevin's on the front side. He's on the other side of all of that rain, that wall of rain that's there. And there you go. There's a nice rainbow that's going to pop up here if you can see that on our right over the ADM plant there. So there it is here, that rainbow. We can't really see a whole lot from this angle because I think the sun and then the heavy rain is blocking it. Kevin's got the much better shot. He's in the StormTracker on the bottom right of your screen. Gibson City, of course, is in the top right as we continue to watch that storm that's up that way, now moving into Livingston County. And if I had to suggest, okay, let me go back to Livingston County real quick. And we'll see if, let me see if radar's pulling it as well as, and make sure what I want to do is I'm going to connect to the Apple TV and show you real quick. Not convinced that that storm done yet from what I'm seeing here. And that storm now just north of Sibley. It's going to be along Highway 47 between Forest and Sibley, moving into Chatsworth. I bet there's a nice view there as well. I'm going to drop the lightning and take a look at that. That's a severe thunderstorm warning at this point. And I just kind of, out of the corner of my eye, caught something. I'm going to look at the velocity again here. So it looks like that's a lot of wind more than anything. If there was a brief circulation that tried to develop, it'd be here south of Forest. There's Forest at 24 and 47. You stop at the four-way stop, cross the tracks, you're in downtown Forest. Right here where it says Fayette, that's the community of Strawn, and Risk also sits north there. Here's Sibley. Chatsworth sits right here. You keep heading to the east. There's Piper City. Then you get to Gilman and Onarga. This storm will be moving towards Chatsworth, Piper City, Gilman, Onarga. I think it stays south of Dwight. I think it's going to stay north of Roberts, but not by much. You may get some strong winds. You're probably getting that in Sibley now. Roberts as well, probably getting some strong winds there. The good news, though, Mclean County, all clear for now. We'll keep a close eye on that, but you can go about your business there with this storm coming on in. Do have a report from the emergency management in Mclean County. They say they have no damage reported at this time. They're still checking into things and making sure that's the case, but that just came across here, and that's a sign of some good news that's in the area there. And then we continue to watch. I'm going to show you that little storm near Leroy. Nothing imminent at this point. We see here, we'll watch it. If you kind of make it out, there's maybe a little bit of a curved shape there that might have to watch something north of Leroy. More heavy rain coming into Bentown, Holder, Leroy, Moraine View State Park, Aerosmith, eventually Cropsey, Cooksville, Colfax, a lot of those areas there. So we're going to watch that closely, but it doesn't seem like there's anything substantial at this point with that. This storm down here, though, looking more mean by the minute. Look at all that pink that's in there. We see, first off, this severe thunderstorm warning is for areas south of I-72 in Pontiac County. It's in the northern half of Moultrie County. At this point, I think we can give an all clear for Macon County, and then it's going to eventually head towards northwestern Douglas County, Tuscola, Chicken Bristle, Atwood, Hammond. It'll head towards southwestern Champaign County, Sadorus, Ivesdale, and then, of course, you've got Beament in Piatt County that we're going to watch this too. 60-mile-per-hour winds at half-dollar size hail has been reported with this storm, and that's going to be also with a chance for a tornado. That tag there, it's not a tornado warning, but it's a tag that simply means tornado possible. There's some weak rotation in there. I'm going to stay with it just for a little bit, just to make sure it doesn't spin up and get a little mischief to it here. Of course, we've got Kevin in there. You know, it's looking a little stronger right here. If Kevin can hear me, I really think there's a spot close to Hammond on 36 to the north, about a mile or two. And by now, that's probably northwest of Hammond, heading towards the Voorhees Castle, the big clock tower that's out there south of Beement in that general direction. So that spot right there, you can make it out here. Let me zoom it in a little bit, where you see these reds picking up right here. That's a spot we're going to have to watch closely as it moves north of Hammond. By now it's a little further downstream, I imagine. So we're going to continue to monitor that. We're seeing reports now of hail in Cerro Gordo coming across the wire. And if you've got any of those reports as well, remember you can send those to us on our Facebook live chat. We're streaming this as many places as possible here. Likely a lot of hail with this particular storm based on the signature that I'm seeing. And something in there is worth looking at. I'm taking a look at another radar here on the side while we see Kevin in the StormTracker. Look at all that wind and that heavy rain that's where he is. I'm curious to know if we can talk to Kevin, and I'd like to hear as well if he's seen any hail with that. Kevin, you're on that storm. Give us an idea of where you are and what you're seeing right now.
All right, yeah, I'm on 36 here. I am just about to get back ahead of this thing, but I'm on Highway 36. We went to Eastaville Place and going to be coming into Hammond here in the next couple of minutes or so. You can really see the heavy rainfall that I'm still in here. Seeing a lot of lightning. And off to my left, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to peel off here in a little bit again and give you another view. See if I can roll down the window here real quick. Boy, there is just a ton of heavy rainfall, and it's kind of even being backlit by the setting sun back here. So it's got a really kind of eerie orange tint to it. I know you can't see that great with my I'm going to switch to my back camera here and give you that view. So again, I'm coming into Hammond here. I'm trying to get back ahead of this thing, but like you said, just north of that, there's that other little kink in the line, and so that's going to be heading up there towards the Beement area here before too long as well. So right now, just a lot of really heavy rainfall, but it does still seem like a very strong, intense storm. So if you're into Pontiac County there, be on the lookout. I'm going to try to get ahead of this, reposition, and we'll have another report coming up here in just a little bit.
All right, thanks for that, Kevin. We're going to keep a close eye on that. I think the plan is we're going to stay here until 7:30, and then we'll cut back to programming. If we don't have an extension of or any additions to tornado warnings, we'll continue our digital coverage, though. So our plan for control is 7:30, and I'll let you confirm in the back, and you can give me a countdown, and we'll make that decision accordingly based on what we're seeing. But that's where we'll check and then decide what's going on here, because I just want to stay with this for a little bit while longer based on what it's doing and where it's heading. Circulation now just northwest of Hammond, lifting to the north and east towards Voorhees Castle, Beement. It'll cross to the east here. From Cerro Gordo to Beement, Ivesdale, Sadorus, Tolono, off to the east end. That's that Norfolk Southern rail line. This will be heading generally in that direction, I think, as it moves off to the north and east. You've got Bourbon down here. All the factories are right there west of Tuscola. Chicken Bristle sits up here. South and west here, there's Pasodum, there's Tolono. Champaign-Urbana is behind the top right corner of my screen there. And so that's something that we're going to continue to watch closely here and just make sure and just monitor that it doesn't try and spin up. There still is some wind shear in the atmosphere, but as that sun goes down, we do lose some instability. It may take a while for it to go away entirely, but we're still going to get a look at some of that wind and hail, and even the chance for a stronger area of rotation is something else we're going to monitor here for a little while longer. Let's take a look at our sky cams again, and then I'm going to go full screen on the green wall real fast. We will continue that severe thunderstorm warning until 7:45 for Pontiac County. We'll plan at 7:30 to probably go digital, but we'll be ready to hop back on TV if needed. So you got some time. You got about 6 minutes or so. So you need to open the WCIA3 news and weather apps. You can head to Facebook and get our coverage there, just as we make sure this storm doesn't do anything that it shouldn't do here at this point. Of course, we've been watching on the cameras. That top right one is Gibson City. Kevin is in the StormTracker, and then we can bring the cameras full screen as well. I'm going to switch to the Champaign-Urbana cameras, see if we can't get a look to the south and west as we see here, switching real quick here. There we go, Decatur. We want to switch now to the Champaign one. That's looking off to the south and west. A little hard to make anything out at this point. The storm's still just a little far away. I'm going to pan it a little bit here and get an idea. That's looking from our station here in downtown Champaign towards the south and west. And we may need to pan it even a little more south to get a view We'll do it to the left a little bit, and then we'll spin it back to the right as we continue to watch here. The National Weather Service saying they're still watching an area of rotation. That's going to be 2, 3, 4 miles south of Beeman at this point. Not too far. We got spotters that are in that area, and we're going to get a last report from Kevin as well. That's looking due south now. As I turn it back to the east, you're going to see a bright colors here. Ooh. Nice sunset here in Champaign-Urbana, coming with all these stormy clouds that are in the area as we continue to watch things. And then just taking a broad view here again, I think the storm in Montgomery County, I'm not worried about that. Christian, Shelby County, I think you're going to be okay. It's mainly this batch right here, and then the batch that's heading towards Piper City that we're going to have to watch closely and keep an eye on. And let's go ahead and show some of those here now on the green wall. I'm going to get that radar up and just do a coverage here. We'll start to the north, and as we do that, first off, there's Chatsworth. Probably some hail in Chatsworth now. If you got any reports from Chatsworth, I know last spring they had a weak tornado come through Chatsworth. This storm now just severe thunderstorm warned. Here's the Ford-Livingston County line. Chatsworth right here. There's Forest, Strawn, Sibley. This is Melvin. You've got Piper City right here. Gilman and Anarga here. That's Interstate 57 in Iroquois County. The panhandle of Ford County sits right here. This is now crossing the Ford-Livingston County line towards Piper City up to the north. There's Cullum, Tri-Point School District's up there. You've got Stell right there. I think it's going to be mainly in the panhandle north of Roberts, probably Piper City centered on that. And I'll just check my velocity product. These bright pinks to me an indication of some strong winds, and I am going to switch radar sites real quick because we're a bit far north just to get another view on it. Nothing really sticks out to me of rotation at this point, so that's some good news. We like seeing that, but there's likely some strong winds that are in place here coming through parts of northern Ford, southeastern Livingston, and western Iroquois County. Then there's this storm down here. And that's that little spot. See where this green and red is? That's on that leading edge of that surging bow that Kevin is on. And we'll get him in just a second. I know he's got a good shot in his StormTracker as he's turning there. This right here now, just south and east of Beeman, has to be watched closely. Beeman, Ivesdale, Sedoris, Tolono, Pisodum. Champaign here is north on I-57 right there. There's Monticello. Southern Piatt County sits right here. Even if that's not anything spinning up, there's a lot of wind pushing out. We've seen Kevin in the StormTracker have that right now. I'll pull up the reflectivity. Right here is where that little spot is, and you'll see how there's almost a little bit of a notch in there, a little bit of an inflow notch. That is a sign that it's trying to, but we may not have much more luck with that here for a little while longer. We'll see how it plays out, but I bet Beeman right now getting a lot of wind and hail. Folks are probably at this time up in Monticello at prom. So I think they're probably okay in Monticello, but still Beeman getting a lot of hail in that area. And then further to the south, of course, that warning does include Lovington and Atwood. Macon County, I think we can give you an all clear. We'll give an all clear to Shelby and Christian County. It's now Moultrie, Piatt counties, and it'll be moving eventually here Champaign and Douglas County. Tuscola, Pisodum, Tolono, Savoy, Champaign, the University of Illinois. Right here's where Seymour is. There's Whiteheath. This is probably going to stay south of I-72 through much of Champaign County. It may catch up to 72 just in the south and east side of Champaign towards Ogden, St. Joseph, running right along the railroad tracks, if I'm honest with you. All right, let's go to Kevin real quick. Kevin, tell us what you're seeing.
All right, got back ahead of the storm here. We're right on it again. Take a look at this thing. Here's the inflow into the storm right here. This is the leading edge. Up here, you can see the dust that's getting kicked up here. Right above us is literally that leading edge of the storm. You can see the very fast-moving motion once again. Again, we are going to be east of Hammond here, just about to the Atwood area, almost to Atwood. And you can see again, take a look. You can see the lightning here on the back side of this thing, that inflow that's coming in. And so here's that leading edge of the storm that is going to be coming there into Atwood here right now. See those really strong winds here. And I got to tell you, this storm is still packing. It's so windy. The steamer strap is coming across here right now. This is it. You're literally looking right into the leading edge of this storm here. Still seeing some pretty good motion and inflow here on the back side of this thing. We're going to continue to try to get back ahead. Again, here comes the view back to the clearing. Here's the storm, the strong inflow into it here, and then right on that leading edge is that gust front where the strong winds are, and what we're going to have up here, where that location is up there, is where you've got the dust that's kind of being kicked up there as well. All right, so I'm going to send it back to you as we kind of reposition out here with the storm.
All right, thanks, Kevin. If you can check your text messages, I just want to get some clarification on what we should do at this point here before we make a decision on what's going on. Again, he's there watching that storm. I'm not jealous of you at this point, Kevin. All of the wind and the rain with that is loud. You can hear that from the StormTracker where he is. Again, he's south of Beemont there, ahead of that storm, and he's going to reposition and keep an eye on that for us here. Likely some hail coming towards Beemont, if not just south of there where Kevin is. The wind also pushing out. I do not have any indications at this point of a substantial amount of rotation. So that's something we're going to watch closely. It's borderline at this point, though, kind of wrapped up in the rain there. Kevin's there. We've got a lot of spotters in that area that have eyes on it, and I just haven't had any reports at this point. So we're going to watch that closely and keep an eye on it. And if you guys can ask Kevin in the back as well what his thoughts are, too, that'd be helpful, too, here as we hit 7:30 right now. Let's hit the reset button before we figure out what's going on. Talk about who's seeing what. We've got 2 warnings on the board right now. No tornado warnings at this point, but we've got one storm that does have some weak rotation with it now coming towards southern Champaign County. And that's one of the reasons why we're kind of sticking around here a little bit longer than we normally would, especially given that tornado that happened near Cropsey and Colfax and Cooksville, all Seatown names in Mclean County. That storm is also severe thunderstorm warning now near Piper City. I think there's going to be a lot of hail in that area as it moves on in. So again, Kevin's watching in the StormTracker and watching that southern storm. You kind of look, too, on the right side of your screen. It's interesting to see. We call that the whale's mouth. That's the wind pushing out, and you can look up underneath that shelf cloud. It's a fascinating place to be, and that's where Kevin's at. He's in the wind. He's in that storm at this point, the belly of the beast, I suppose you could say, with that. All right, Robin's saying major hail in Beemont. We've got some reports of hail in Beemont. And if I can get a size in that, maybe you take a coin, throw it out there and compare quarter, nickel, dime, or if it's a little bit larger, that would be helpful. They're saying there's a lot of it, so even if it's small hail, we'd like to know the size of that. Some folks saying just bigger than pea size, but there's a lot of hail in Beemont, and I'm not surprised by that as we continue to watch here for a little bit while longer. All right, let's bring mine full screen real quick, and we'll talk about the warnings very quickly here. We're going to get a warning update, and then I think what we'll do is, if it's not a tornado warning, it's a severe thunderstorm warning. Back in production control, go ahead and let's be ready to cut away from TV here in about 2-3 minutes. And we'll talk about this new warning for Champaign County, and we'll continue our coverage on digital platforms from there. It'll be a sliver of northern Douglas. It's going to be southern Champaign County. This right here is going to include the city of Champaign and Urbana. At this point, there's no tornado possible tag on it. They're still saying, though, it likely has 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail. It will go until 8:15 for the next 43 minutes. As it moves across I-57, it'll include I-57 from Thomasboro all the way to Tuscola. It will include I-72 from the county line all the way into Champaign. It will include I-74 from the first exit in Mahomet, Prairie Road, or mine's drawn a blank there. I take that exit all the time. Prairie View Road. And it's going to go all the way over towards Ogden. Does not include St. Joe's. It's going to include all the way to St. Joe. It's not going to include Ogden or St. Joe, but it will get just past Champaign-Urbana to the east. And there. Go ahead and tell me one more time what you said. All right, we're going to be out of here in 2 minutes, and just throw a timer up there, and we'll wrap this up on television. Remember, you got about 2 minutes. We'll continue this coverage for Champaign and Douglas County for mainly a wind and hail threat now until it's needed on our digital platforms. Facebook Live, we're also streaming on our apps, and that's where we're going to take this coverage for you here as we continue to watch. Just an update on the storm now coming out of Beemont. There's been some substantial hail there, a lot of hail, a lot of small hail in that area, but that curve in the storm, an indication of straight line winds blowing out. That's probably going to come down the Norfolk Southern rail line there that goes from Beemont towards Tolono and Pasota, carrying off to the east then as well into southeastern Champaign County. I think at this point, looking at things, the tornado threat is lowering more and more with this. And we'll kind of look at the rotation and not really see a whole lot there. the wind really pushing out and kind of cutting that off. So that's a good sign, but there's still a lot of wind and probably some hail coming towards southern Champaign County and northern Douglas County. North of Tuscola, northwest of Tuscola towards Chicken Bristle also going to be that. One last check as well for our friends in Piper City area. I think this storm is probably going to, it seems like it's turning a little more to the north there. It may be more towards Ashcombe than it is Gilman and Narragansett. The tornado threat also really coming down substantially on that one. And that's going to carry to the north towards Ashcombe on Interstate 57. That is what we've got for you here. We're going to cut back to our programming here in just a few seconds. I'm meteorologist Jacob Dickey. Let's go ahead and do the double box, and we'll show you Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty in the Storm Tracker. Remember, you can join our continuing coverage of severe weather in central Illinois on our digital platforms. That's online, on the apps, and as well as on Facebook and Twitter. We'll continue coverage there. For now, we hope to not see you until WCIA 3 News at 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Okay, cool. We are clear on TV now, and we are still going on our digital platforms now. We're going to keep talking about that storm that's coming on in. Again, the tornado threat at this point is really diminishing. If we go later in the evening, 8 o'clock is when that tornado watch expires. There may be a local extension, but we get the sun going down, and you start losing that instability, and that's a good sign here. There's a sign of some really good hail. Piper City to the north, Pella Township, 115. So I'll be very interested along the north of US 24 to hear any hail reports in northern Ford County. This storm at one point had some ping pong ball size hail. It is not tornado warned, it is a severe thunderstorm warned. As I look at velocity, I don't see anything that sticks out to me about rotation. And as I look at our debris detector, I don't really see anything either there that makes me think that. So that's a good sign here, but there is some signs of some hail looking at some of those products, certainly in that area. That's the one warning. It's going to go until, I believe it's 8:15. Let me just double check that real quick. Livingston County will give you the all clear. It's going to go until 8 o'clock. So this warning is going to go for another 25 minutes. Livingston County, you're all good now. The storms behind also are weakening. We still, though, are watching that southern storm as well coming into Champaign County. And there's a good dose of hail and BMET coming out there, moving off to the north and east. That's going to, let me loop this and just kind of follow. Yeah, I think Tolono is going to get a lot of hail here soon. A heads up to Tolono. You know someone in Tolono, tell them, hey, the weatherman just said there's some hail coming your way, and Unity is not having prom tonight. Champaign County, we've got St. Joseph Ogden having prom, and then Tuscola is up in Champaign having prom. I don't think it's going to be an immediate Champaign proper. They're in town at in Tuscola's up here. St. Joseph Ogden also is in Champaign-Urbana having prom tonight. I think this storm is probably going to stay south of Champaign-Urbana, not by much. There may be the hail just south of town, and then north of Tuscola as well. So it'll split the gap there, but it certainly might head towards St. Joseph and Ogden with that hail core, if not just south of there towards Homer, Philo, Sidney, as it's now moving into the Ivesdale area. And then you can see now that little pink area, that's what we got to watch here closely and keep an eye on as it moves off to the east and northeast. Sadorus, Tolono, I think it's going to be the red line, center line for that hail threat here as we move through the next 30 minutes or so. That severe thunderstorm warning will go until 8:15. And we'll continue our digital coverage until the warnings are dropped. If they drop it early, it doesn't mean Vermilion County, if the warning's not extended to you, there's no need for us to talk about things. We'll keep an eye on it behind the scenes and cut back if needed. If the warning is extended, it would be extended into Vermilion County, and that is something that we'll watch here. On that path, I think that's going to be the middle part of Vermilion County. Probably Danville would honestly be kind of in that region that we're going to watch. All right, we've got Kevin on the right side of the storm tracker. I'd like to get another update from him. Lots of wind and rain, and then when we come back from Kevin, we're going to talk about new updates to that tornado watch, and there's some extensions that have happened. We'll talk about that in a minute. Kevin, you're in that storm right now. The rotation not as strong. The wind and the hail, though. A lot of hail reports in your area. Tell us what you're seeing.
Yeah, I'm about to probably drive into that hail. I am in the heart of this storm, north of Atwood right now. I am traveling back north, right through the core of this. You can barely kind of see in front of me here. We've got the windshield wipers on full blast. I've got the vehicle kind of rocking a bit here. You can see the lightning that is, almost constant here, a few flashes here, every 10 or 15 seconds. And I'm starting to hear maybe a little bit of hail. Again, I'm going to be coming right in to the core of this. So bear with me here for just a second, because I think we're going to be getting into the hail here in just a moment as we kind of get in. I can barely see in front of me right now. Really, really strong winds with this here. We are right on that Boeing segment here. We are north of Atwood, kind of right there hugging along the county line there of Pontiac, of Douglas and Champaign County. I'm literally going to be into the southwest corner there of Champaign County, and man, the lightning is really close to me right now. You kind of hear just how heavy the rain is, and we're going to probably start to see some of that hail, as you were mentioning. That hail core is literally just to our north. Is where that is located here. So we're on kind of the county line here. You're probably seeing maybe a little bit of the orange color here, and that's going to be kind of the backside where the sun is as it's setting tonight and giving that kind of orangish tint and glow to the sky. You're gonna see that here. But I'm in the most intense part of this line, going to be coming into Ivesdale here in the next 2 to 3 minutes or so. So I'm gonna keep kind of traveling north on this thing here, but man, it is coming down right now. Jacob, I'll probably have another view of this. If I get some hail here, I'll jump back to you, but I'm about to go into that hail core, so bear with me here.
All right, thanks for that report, Kevin. We'll keep you up double box as well, so if you need us real quick, just flash the screen and we'll know it's coming. Checking some of these hail reports as well. There's been a lot of hail with this storm, a lot of small hail, PETA quarter-size hail being reported. I'm going to get some of these photos from across the region here to you shortly, and I'm pretty impressed looking at them here. Look at those photos out here momentarily as we continue to watch and keep an eye on things. Other things to note, just these 2 warnings here. That hail core now very near Ivesdale. That's about where Kevin is now. The wind, though, from Ivesdale down towards Atwood is surging out towards Pasodum and Tolono. Tolono is probably closer to getting the hail than they are to Sodom, but that's still something that we're going to watch and keep an eye on and monitor closely here as we go through the next little bit. And we're getting some of these updates from folks and just checking some messages. And if you've got a report in here, we've got hail in Piper City also being reported, and then a new severe thunderstorm warning also just being issued as well for Fort and Iroquois County. We'll get up to that here in a moment. Let's talk real quick about our tornado watch. The tornado watch has been extended until 10 o'clock for a lot of our counties here. A local extension of the tornado watch until 10 p.m. for some of our counties. A number of them have been dropped, Logan, Sangamon County, and I really think a lot of us are going to be clear here as well across the area. That watch now until 10 p.m. As we continue to monitor. It looks like some just under inch hail in Ivesdale also being reported. And so that watch just coming in here on the left side of your screen. You can see those counties. I'll read them as well. It's a little small, just to make sure you get them. Livingston, Ford, Iroquois, Mclean, DeWitt, Piatt, Macon, Champaign, Vermilion, Christian, Shelby, Moultrie, Douglas, Coles, Edgar, Montgomery, Fayette, Effingham, Jasper, Cumberland, Clark, Crawford. Now till 10 p.m. That's been extended by the National Weather Service. And so that's something that we're going to continue to watch closely here. There's our view of Champaign and the triple box there. We are seeing some signs of some strong winds heading into the southeast side of that storm in Champaign County. That's where Kevin's at as well. That's being noted with some hail, of course, on the north side and the wind to the south side here. The rotation, thankfully, not as evident. We'll come to that storm in a minute, but we do want to talk about our storm to the north here from Piper City, where we had some quarter-size hail reported in that area. You can kind of see the northward trend it's taking here, and it'll be heading towards Ashcombe, Martinton. It'll be on US 45 north of Unarga and Gilman. Hail threat mainly, a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, but there has been some confirmed quarter-size hail with this storm as it slipped through the northern part of the county. That new warning is going to go until... looks like they're going to extend it. I just saw that here until 9 p.m. for this particular warning that's moving on through the area. I think it might be out of here even a little bit quicker than that. So we're going to watch that storm as it slides off to the south, slides to the north and east here. Generally north of US 24. Watseka, you're in the warning, but if you're south of there, Cissna Park, Buckley, Loda, Milford, Wellington, a lot of those areas there, you're not in the warning. I think you're going to be okay. The curvature there does indicate strong winds, though, heading towards I-57 from Onarga up towards Ashcombe. We'll check back there in a minute. Also seeing now here on this storm coming into Champaign County, I'm going to switch to our camera as well in the top right in Champaign, and I'm going to turn that now due south. First off, we've got quite an incredible sunset here in Champaign-Urbana. Remember, the severe thunderstorm warning continues for the county here until 8:30, and we're going to turn it to the left. That's looking west. Now we're looking more southwest, and now we're looking south. And you can see the structure on that in the top right corner of your screen as it moves on into Champaign County. That bowing out sign, an indication this is more of a wind threat for Champaign County. Still signs that there's some hail, and there's been quite a bit of hail with this reported. I'll get some photos for you here in a second from our reports, and if you've got a report as well, in the right side, my chat I've got from our Facebook Live or on Twitter. You can also let us know if you're seeing anything here. This warning for Champaign County is the southern half of the county. Champaign-Urbana southward. Rantoul, Fisher, Mahomet, Seymour, you're okay. It's south of you. We think it's heading towards primarily Pistodum and the Villa Grove area, Philo, Tolono, Willard Airport, even in the potential path of that as this continues to move off to the east. All right, let me grab some photos here real quick. And we're going to pop them full screen if we can while we'll come back to Kevin. He's in an area that I know doesn't have the best service. I want to show you some of these photos real fast out there. This is some video, and these videos have came in from various locations. I believe this was over in the Beeman area. You can see all of that wind and all of that rain coming on down there. And there's even been some hail reported. Here's some of that hail. There's been a lot of it with this, it's a lot of small hail. Some of those hailstones are going to be up to quarter size, according to the National Weather Service, as we continue to watch. You're getting a good view, too. This is coming in the backside of the storm from Bloomington. Look at all that hail. This is from the Mount Zion area. A lot of hail out there, a lot of small hail, very noisy storms coming on in. And tell you what, it kind of reminds me of my own prom about 11, 12, 13 years ago, where we had a lot of small hail on prom night and coming through. And I almost left my date. But I didn't. I went to prom instead. But tonight, I know there's a lot of folks that are having prom, and of course, keeping an eye on that. So we've got that tornado watch extended until 10 p.m. We've got two main storms we're watching. The rotation not entirely obvious on this. The rotation really coming down. It's mainly seeming to be more of a wind and hail threat. So far from storm reports, we have had a number of hail and even some wind reports. I'm going to find my storm report graphic for you. There's been one report of a tornado, but we have had some funnel cloud reports. The tornado report was near Colfax earlier tonight. The funnel cloud reports came from the southeast side of Decatur. But you can see some of those hail reports. I've had up to ping pong ball size, 1.5-inch hail reported northeast of Lincoln with a storm. Other spots have reported from pea to quarter size, and even a couple of spots of $half size hail with that. So we're going to continue to watch. Let's go ahead and triple box it. I want to keep an eye on Kevin now in the StormTracker. He looks like he's getting back kind of in front of it here. We're going to talk about that storm, then I'll come to Kevin with an update on what he's seeing here. You look at the motion of this storm, and it does appear to, honestly, it looks like it's maybe trying to weaken. I won't say it's weakening necessarily. There's still some definite sign of strong winds, but maybe in the next half an hour we'll be in a much better position here. Still, though, I still see some hail pulsing up near Atwood, west of Tuscola now, along US 36. It's coming into far northwestern Douglas County. That'd be near Chickambrissel, and south of Tolono near Hayes Crossing, west there towards Sadorus and Ivesdale. If anyone in Sadorus and Ivesdale has any reports as well. I did see someone saying just starting in Sadorus. We're very interested in hail reports. We're also very interested in wind reports here as the storm comes on through. Let me drop some of the data, and we'll look at it a little smoother, a little closer here. Velocity going to show us where that leading edge of wind is. You'll see here, see these bright reds? There's some strong wind coming into Pistodum right now. Here's Interstate 57. It will be crossing near Pistodum. That's where the state police headquarters is, north of Tuscola. Not by much, but certainly that's where you can see on the top right corner of your screen. That's where we're looking the camera, straight down 57. And I may switch it to our stadium camera. It's east, not by much, but it's a little more east. And, look at all that lightning to the south of town here. Goodness, that's an impressive looking storm that's sneaking on into the area. And I'll pan it to the right a little bit. Some impressive views coming on in. So there's certainly a lot of hail reported, and there's been plenty of wind reported as well. Quite a view from the sky here on our Flooring America iNet at the studio looking to the south and west. We also have the StormTracker out there. And it looks like Kevin's darn close to, let's see, he's between Sedoris and Ivesdale at this point, it looks like. Kevin, can you tell us a little bit about if you're seeing any hail and where you're at and where you're heading?
Yeah, boy, this thing must be picking up in its forward speed, which would, indicate that there's some pretty strong winds here, because I'm having trouble keeping up with this thing. It seems to be moving a little bit faster. I'm just passed through Sloan Station, familiar with that, and going to be heading right into the Sedoris area here before too long. And boy, just a lot of lightning with this here. I didn't quite get into the hail. I was just behind it, but you can see the lightning that's really kind of lighting things up here. And so I'm going to be coming into Sedoris. Looks like possible they just had a little bit of hail, but this thing's now crossing I-57 here. And so coming into Tolono, as you mentioned, but you're going to catch a ton of lightning with this, really heavy rain. And on the leading edge of this, especially between Sedoris and Pasodum there, you can really see on the velocity of that there's a nice little pocket of your probably 60-mile-per-hour winds that you've got with this. And so that's going to be just kind of south of Sedoris and heading there right across I-57. I bet you traffic, I would say this, Jacob, you know this from all the coverage that we often do, that little kink there along I-57 is such a travel trouble spot in the wintertime, but even when it rains there as well, that can be a real issue with traffic on I-57 there. So we'll have to kind of watch that and see if there's any slowdowns there with the traffic or any accidents, because that often does happen in that area if you're going too fast and those curves suddenly kind of come along. Again, we're going to be coming into Sedoris here in the next few minutes. Constant lightning here, the heavy rainfall. Again, we're just on the back side of this right now, and we're probably going to have to punch through the core of this again and then see what we can do to try to get back ahead of it. But it does seem like it's picking up in its forward speed here a bit. As you mentioned, the two areas of possibly some of that hail there, the other one there up near Garrett, and going to be heading towards your favorite place, Jacob, the chicken bristle.
Chicken bristle, that's right. That's my favorite place here. So thanks for that report, Kevin. You're right, it is starting to pick up, and what we're seeing is the winds are bowing out ahead of it. They're blowing out, and that's essentially making the storm bow like a backward C. And when that happens, storms become outflow dominant. You can still get a lot of strong winds with that. Sometimes it's a sign that the storm is going to put out some strong winds for a while and then weaken. Sometimes, though, you can develop a rear inflow jet. Essentially, it's feeding from the backside of the storm. And if that happens, we'll see this wind damage threat continue through Pasodum, Tolono, crossing 130 north of Villa Grove, towards Broadlands and Homer, and even Fairmount and Sidell and Jamaica, and even into the Danville area. So we're going to watch that now. I am getting some reports of hail in Tolono. If you can give me a size, grab a coin, throw it out there. Relative size here is always helpful, and to kind of get an idea on things here. But we know there's strong wind crossing now, centered on the rest stop on I-57 there, south by the curves near Pasodum. Tolono going to be getting some strong wind as well. The wind also seems to be like it's going to be an issue. And I would think at this point for Mclean County, we'll probably end up seeing an extension of this warning moving on. And the storm's still a ways away, but it's moving in your general direction. You look to the west, you'll see a lot of lightning, and you'll see a lot of wind into the region. And so that's something we're going to keep a close eye on here as we move on through. That's what we have for this particular storm. Just checking to the north, I've seen some photos from up there. We don't want to forget about our friends in Iroquois County. And then we're going to hit the reset button here and just talk about who's in, who's out, who's got it. Ford County, I think we can give you the all clear at this point. Gilman, Onarga, the storm is just to the north of Gilman now. Ashcombe is knocking on your door here. I-57 from Gilman to Clifton and Chevance. Clifton's having a problem tonight. Yeah, Clifton's having a problem. They're up in St. Anne, though, in Kankakee County. So the parents are getting it. The kids are having a great night in Kankakee. All clear up there. This, though, is going to be heading to the south and east. I take that back. There's St. Anne. This will be heading towards St. Anne. Kankakee is okay. St. Anne, parents in Clifton, you might give your kids a heads up. There's a severe thunderstorm coming in that direction. It is not likely to produce a tornado, but there is likely to be some hail and strong winds in that general direction. And I tell you what, the teachers also up there are going to be watching things very closely. I know they're listening. So just a heads up downstream, St. Anne in Kankakee County. Back to our Champaign County storm now. It is crossing 45 now at Tolono. We've had a number of heavy rain and wind reports in that area. Kevin is to the south there. Our Skycam in Champaign got a whole lot darker as the sun's going down, but we're still seeing the lightning. And I'm going to switch that as well. Boy, that is a light show there on our Skycam. We're going to turn that to the south now. We're getting quite a storm cloud coming in here. We also want to mention Tuscola, northwest of you at Chicken Bristle, Hayes Crossing, south of Ivesdale Sedoris is where that tail is. I think that's going to be staying north of Tuscola, but eventually you probably get your chance at some more rain with that here. This warning is going to go until, if I am correct, I believe it's 8:15. And so here in the next 10-15 minutes, we'll find out if there's a need for an extension eastern Champaign County and towards Danville, Vermilion County. I think that's going to be the case based on what we're seeing, and we're going to keep a close eye on it from here. We've got the field, we've got the sky cams, we've got radar. We've got you covered here tonight with this particular storm as it moves off. It is not looking to be a threat for tornadoes. That's good news. However, there's a good sign of some strong straight-line winds now, especially halfway between Tolono and Pasodum. See that bright pink color right here? Pasodum is here. Tolono is there. It's going to be right close to where, if you remember where the train derailed there, the Canadian National Train Line, near there and to the north, and even in the city of Pasodum, a lot of strong winds downstream. That's going to cross 130 between Philo and Villa Grove. In fact, you know where the crossing is there, south of Philo on the road that takes you straight east to Broadlands. It's going to be very near there. From what I'm seeing, it's just barely south. Philo's probably, I think at this point, Tolono's getting a lot of rain and hail. And so Philo, Sydney, we're going to include you on that. Down here, Bongard and Block and Sydney and east of Tolono there. I know we've got there's that pumpkin patch that's out there, the Emmanuel Lutheran Church north of Broadlands, Homer. I think Homer Lake also will have to watch as this continues to the east and northeast here. It looks like at this point the strongest wind is going to stay out of Champaign-Urbana, and perhaps even the hail will stay out. But we're about to get some good lightning and thunder here in town in Champaign. It's right over Savoy. Probably some hail in Savoy. Southeast Champaign, southeast Urbana, Savoy, probably getting a little bit of hail at this point. A lot of lightning, a lot of wind though. Up by Marketplace Mall, just barely getting the showers there, and they'll probably miss it on that side of town. But it seems like the south side towards campus and whatnot is getting where this storm is. Again, hail and wind is what we're looking at. It looks scary. It's ominous. We are watching it, of course, on our sky cams. In fact, let's go ahead and pull our sky cam full if we can, because I want to take a peek at that and show you. Here's the Champaign one. That's the one that is at our studio, and then I'm going to switch it real quick here to our stadium one. A lot of lightning out there, a lot of lightning and heavy rain in Champaign-Urbana. That certainly is on the table. We do have the severe thunderstorm warning that continues. If you have any reports of wind and hail, those are important. We like to get those. Getting a lot of wind and rain in Champaign, some hail report. And I'm going to forward those hail reports on to the National Weather Service. Hail is reported now in Savoy and Tolono. And so we continue to keep a close eye on that little hail spot that's lifting to the northeast. Southeast Urbana, I think where the Meijer is and the Walmart there and the Filer Roads Business District, that's probably the best place to get some hail from this particular storm. If you get a size of hail, that's appreciated with this here. It's a mean storm, that's for sure. The hail and the wind will scare you. The good news is we're not concerned about a tornado with this, but the wind even in itself can be problematic here for storms like this. And so we're going to watch and keep a close eye on things and monitor. Got a report of dime-size hail in Savoy. I'm seeing that come across. And lots of folks saying it's raining hard. It certainly is here. And that camera, as we're looking now, South Champaign getting quite a bit of action here from the storm as we continue to watch. All right, let's see if we can't check in with, what's Kevin coming on across? Oh, it looks like he's going to get stopped by a train there. Let's just check in with Kevin and see where he is, and then we're going to get another update from here in the studio. So, okay, good. Kevin's not quite going to stop by a tornado, or by a train, I should say, not a tornado. But Kevin, tell us where you are, what you're seeing.
Well, I was hoping to continue to head east here. I am literally at 45 here I was trying to keep going east. I'm just south of Tolono, so you can see in front of me the train. They must have stopped the train, and it's probably for weather. To be honest with you, they probably said, "Hey, you guys need to hold up here." And so now I'm trying to decide which way I want to go. I think I'm going to peel back up to the north here. So I'm going to go north on 45 into Tolono, then try to head back east again. And I thought I was going to get ahead of this thing again, but doesn't look like until I can catch a little opening here from that train. I'm not sure how far backed up the train is here, but I'm going to be coming into Tolono here that just had that storm blow through, and it's still some heavy rainfall. You can see a lot of lightning here as well, but that leading edge of that, and it looks like a nice little hail core that just kind of came through on between Savoy and Champaign there and heading into Urbana. Looks like a little bit of hail that's there from what I can tell on radar. Seeing some brighter reflectivities kind of coming through. So we're going to be monitoring that. Okay, I'm going to try to get back east here. So I will send it back to you for right now as I try to catch a road here to head back east on a county road. So I'm coming into Tolono. Trying to see if I can see any hail here. Don't see much, but I'll let you know if I see anything. But we'll keep you updated as we go throughout tonight.
All right, thanks, Kevin, for your report. Again, he's out here down south of Champaign, just trying to get across 45. He's looks like he's rolling now into the south side of Tolono, so he's on the back side of this. The storm is bowing out. It's already to Philo, and remember, radar is a little bit delayed, so it's past Philo now. It's crossing the railroad tracks that go from Sydney northeast towards St. Joseph in a matter of minutes here. St. Joseph, Ogden, Sydney, you are in line for some wind and some hail. This is that little spot of hail he was talking about here, and it looks like this right here is downtown Champaign. Probably over campus there's been some hail. We've had dime-sized hail in Savoy. There's the curve on 74 off to the east. This is 130 right here. I'm sorry, 130 is right here. This is 74 eastbound towards Ogden and St. Joseph. So it's likely now close to the Walmart there on the southeast side. There's the Walmart and the Aldi's. There's Myra down here. The U of I sits right in here. Downtown Champaign, north and west. It's been scary, a lot of lightning and thunder, but the hail has been Savoy, southeast Urbana, it looks like here. This right here is where Cunningham and University is. And so you can see south of downtown Urbana, in the direction towards Urbana High School, likely that's carrying off to the east. The Walmart, take this road here. The Walmart sits right here. The Meyer is down here. The Myra Golf Course and where all that stuff is, Riggs Brewing sits here. That's all there. So there's a lot of hail heading in that direction. A lot of small hail, though. Thankfully, we haven't had any big reports of it. The wind, though, on the northern edge, we've got the hail. The wind, though, seems to be strongest more to the south. In particular here, you can see how there's lighter returns here. It's nothing that's immediately concerning over town, but that's a spot where sometimes we do need to watch for something that tries to spin up the comma head at the end of our bowing echo here. But further to the south is where all the strong wind is coming on through. Savoy, Tolono, Pisodum just got a lot of wind. Now that's crossing 130 from Philo down to the east of Pisodum. That'll be towards Block and Sydney. The railroad tracks here towards Homer. St. Joseph is right there, and I think just downstream, an early heads up, if there's a new warning going to be issued, it will be issued very shortly here. We would likely see Ogden, Homer, Allerton, Broadlands, Jamaica, probably north of Sidell. Here sits Fithian. You've got the 49 northbound right there. This is 49 southbound. Oakwood is right here. You've got Kickapoo there, Danville, and maybe even Westville in Georgetown, and Danville even to the north, perhaps towards Bismarck-Henning. We'll see if it takes a more of a right turn, but I think it's going to continue on that general trajectory towards Danville. And so we're going to watch all of that closely here and keep an eye on it. Let's pop back to the north real quick and remember our Iroquois County friends. And that storm, it's not done yet. Certainly looks like there's going to be some wind and hail now. This now crossing I-57 from Clifton to Ashcombe and Danforth here. Looks like Ashcombe, Clifton going to get the brunt of it. I know I've got a friend up in Clifton. She tells me all the time what's going on with the weather there. I'll probably get a message from her, Carrie, before all is said and done. Clifton prom tonight is in St. Anne. This will be a wind and hail threat heading towards St. Anne. The prom for Clifton Central is in St. Anne tonight. And if that's the case, folks there downstream from this, it will be a wind threat mainly. I don't see anything at this point that makes me think there's a tornado developing, but likely some strong straight line winds continuing. And the way the radar is oriented here, it might be a little hard to pick that out exactly, but we know that there's wind there, and we've gotten some hail reports even from this particular storm as it continues to move off to the east and northeast. They're accelerating a little bit. The wind is blowing out ahead of them. That's cutting back on our tornado threat, but still bringing us the chance for some of that wind and even hail. Got a storm in the backside of this here, non-severe. Strawn, Sibley, Gibson City is here coming out of Mclean County. Colfax having their prom tonight. By now they're probably telling stories about sheltering during prom there. Ridgeview had their prom tonight, and I know we've got one of our folks in the back is from that area, and if he knows any photos from prom there or whatnot, let us know if you've got any connections. We'd like to hear from the folks at Ridgeview about sheltering. They had a tornado southwest of Colfax reported heading towards town, but we thankfully have heard from Mclean County EMA. There's no damage. They're all clear there, and all clear in Mclean County. All clear Clinton, Decatur, Lincoln, Springfield, all clear for the night. We're mainly looking at this leading edge here as it continues off to the east for Champaign County, areas from Pontiac County, Moultrie County, and then Douglas County as well. This one severe thunderstorm warning for Champaign County continues for a few more minutes. That leading storm, though, bowing out into Vermilion County. We do have a little bit of a break. Shelby County missing out right now, and that maybe bodes well for Mattoon and Charleston. I believe Mattoon is having prom tonight also. And they'll probably be like, well, what storms are going on here? It seems like that gap may be their friend here for areas which, of course, in December, that area got hit pretty hard. That's some good news. And then we see some more storms developing, non-severe. Fayette County heading towards Effingham. They'll probably pick up on some rain and thunder there. I know Teutopolis is having prom, and Casey Westfield, right there's Casey. Casey is having prom as well tonight. But I don't know if this storm is going to be able to strengthen much more into the region. So, again, this is a big, wide view here. And let's kind of, again, recap who's clear, who's done for the night. Jacksonville, all done. Springfield, Lincoln, Bloomington, all done for the night. Pontiac, you're all done for the night. Taylorville finished. Decatur even finished. We're still going to watch for the counties of Iroquois and Ford. Basically, the I-57 corridor down south from Champaign towards Mattoon, Charleston, and Effingham, and points to the east towards the Indiana state line. That'll be where we watch most here with that line of storms that's pushing on through. Behind it, once you get behind it, you're done for the night here into the region. We just have 2 warnings, and it looks like they have dropped the Champaign County warning. So if that's the case, that's a good sign here. But we still have the warning for northern Iroquois County for the storm crossing near Clifton. That's something we're going to watch closely and keep an eye on here. So we've still got team coverage here for a little while longer. It looks like the tornado watch continues until 10 o'clock. We'll show you the counties in that real fast here, and then we'll show you the storm tracker where Kevin's at. This goes until 10 p.m. Some of those counties are likely to get cut before even 10 o'clock, and we may be done even before then here. A lot of rain, a lot of lightning in spots continuing to happen as these storms move to these. There's no tornado watch even in our Indiana counties, and I don't even know if that's going to be needed to be extended necessarily, because as we see the sun go down more and more, we lose instability. These storms go to the east. They even exit the best area of instability and wind shear. And so that's some good news for us here across the region. All right, let's check back in with Kevin. He's getting back into the action. Of course, you can see StormTracker Doppler on the left is showing those storms continuing to push through. Kevin, the warning for Champaign County has been dropped. There is still some strong wind gusts, likely of 45 to 50 miles per hour in Champaign County heading towards Vermilion County and Danville. We just got one warning on the board left. That's for Iroquois County, well to your north. Tell us more about the storm you're at and what you're seeing.
All right, so I am literally just south of Philo. I'm on a county road here. I'm about to come up to 130 here in about 30 seconds. You can't quite see the stop sign that's in front of me, but that's going to be 130. So Philo is going to be just to my north, and I'm kind of back in to that really heavy rainfall, and I can kind of feel the winds that were kind of kicking up there as well. 130 is going to be on the next stop sign here, so we'll stop at this one here, check for traffic both ways, and continue on. And up here is going to be 130 to my left will be Philo. That's got it's got the pretty good storm that's right over them right now with that heavy rainfall and some of those gusty winds. You can see the lightning here as well. That has been pretty constant. I know it's kind of tough to see, but you can kind of tell. Look in the middle part of your screen. You notice where there's kind of a darker area and then a lighter area on the bottom. That's the leading edge of the storm, and what I've been trying to catch back up to this whole time, but it's been just moving so fast, and then that train also put me behind a little bit. But again, going to be coming up here to 1:30, and we're going to be just starting to come onto the leading edge of this thing here once again here before too long. But that storm just kind of rolling through Philo, still got some pretty good winds, and we can feel them here driving probably a little bit less, definitely earlier when I was down here south of Ivesdale, between Ivesdale and Atwood. Man, I got to tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if there were some 60 plus mile gusts there. And I'm not sure if we heard any damage or anything with that, but there were definitely some very strong winds when I was driving there between Atwood and the Ivesdale area. So again, now I'm coming up here to 1:30, and I got to stop here. Got a vehicle coming up here on my left, but again, you can see in front of me is that leading shelf cloud, that leading edge of this, and that's going to be where those winds will kick up even more. So we're just going to keep heading east here for now, try to get ahead of it here. And I know it's not warned anymore, but we'll try to give one last. I've been trying to catch up to this thing for the past hour. Like I said, it's been moving pretty quick, but that's the view from the StormTracker looking to the east. I'm going to show you my back camera. It looks a lot darker there, and also into black and white. But that's the view here as we continue traveling east. Now southeast of Philo, and traveling east on one of the county roads here just south of Philo. And we'll continue to keep you up to date and let you know what we see, if anything else. And hopefully, Jacob, wrapping up coverage here before too long, because we're hoping these storms can, calm down a bit. Again, there's still quite a bit of lightning with these, so just got to be careful with that, obviously. And we'll see what my view looks like here in just a little bit when I get back ahead of this. So maybe at least stay with me or stay with us until that, and we'll check back with you here just a second, because we're about to get back ahead of this thing.
All right, sounds good, Kevin. We'll keep an eye on your shot there as well. And you make it far enough east, I'm trying to think of some restaurants I'd like you to pick some dinner up for me from. So we'll think about that, and I'll text you and see if I can't put an order in, if I'm lucky. All right, let's talk about where that storm is right now. Kevin's again on the backside, coming through Philo, across 130 there in that area, moving to the east. So he's down here. That leading edge now coming into St. Joseph and Sidney. We talked about how it showed signs like it was starting to trend downward maybe. We were seeing that, and we still think that's the case. That doesn't mean it's not a important storm to look at, but certainly it's looking much more broken apart. There's not as many of these bright pinks in there. Still, though, it's crossing St. Joe right now. There's Royal. Ogden sits right here. There's Homer on Illinois 49. That general downward trend, likely still some gusts, I think 40, 50 miles per hour, but that general strong wind is showing signs of weakening. Vermilion County, let's talk to you specifically. I know a lot of you are watching. Would we break away from coverage here in the next 5-10 minutes or so? It doesn't mean we're forgetting about you. It means the storm is weakening. I want to be very clear about that, because we will not be going anywhere. If it pulses back up, we'll come right back on. But the sign that we're ending coverage is not because we love Champaign-Urbana the most. We love our friends in Vermilion County, but with this weakening trend, that's a good sign. That means that the threat coming down. It doesn't mean I have to spend my time talking about nothing up here. And that's not what we do. We'll talk about it as long as it's a threat, but we'll give it a little bit more time just to give it some respect here as it moves off to the east. Still some lightning, still some thunder. The hail threat seems to be really diminishing with this. Maybe some small pea-sized hail, very isolated, nothing like earlier. And then some 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts. That's trending downward. So if we keep that downward trend here, we may have 30 to 45 mile an hour gusts, which still is breezy, but that usually doesn't produce damage as it moves off to the east there. Again, probably next radar scan here, it'll be coming up to Illinois 49 southbound from Ogden near Royal, and then crossing into Vermilion County where Illinois 49 takes you north towards Armstrong, and then eventually up towards Rankin here. We're going to watch that particular storm closely. So far, the reports from Champaign-Urbana have been dime-sized hail in south towards Savoy. I haven't had anything larger than that, which is a good sign. The last time we had severe hail reported, which is 1 inch or greater, was back in Bement with inch hail there. And so we will watch and keep a close eye on it with this particular storm. Let's check further back behind here just to make sure there's not anything else developing. Looks like some strong storms. I'm not seeing anything that's immediately concerning. Maybe the strongest cell is just north of Sullivan. That would keep to the north and east towards Arthur and Tuscola. Remember, we've got a newscast until at 9 o'clock on WCIX. We'll have live coverage on TV then. We've got a newscast at 10 o'clock, and by then we'll see the storms cancel, or the storms out of here. The tornado watch will be dropped. It was extended until 10 o'clock because we had active severe storms, and it was just an abundance of caution where that severe threat, the storms hadn't quite exited as quickly as we initially thought. And so I think that was a smart decision just to keep things, keep our eyes and ears open with that. Still watching Iroquois County now. If I've got any reports in Iroquois County, that would be neat to hear. It looks like Ashcombe, Chebans, Clifton, to the east then on 45 towards Martinton, and areas far northeastern Iroquois County is where that storm is heading. Again, St. Anne tonight is hosting the Clifton Central Prom out there, and so we know that there's some strong winds heading in that direction. They're moving quick here with some wind and hail, but at least we're not dealing with any tornado threats at this point from all we can see. And I'll even just double check and make sure that storm isn't trying to do something, and nothing immediately seems concerning to me. We'll do the same for the southern storms, give it the same love and respect. Notice how these pink colors don't look nearly as impressive. You can see here how those winds were really, once we got past Atwood, they really picked on up, and likely some strong winds that came through Bemet, Tolono, Philo, up towards Sydney. And you can see the colors then started trending downward with recent time. That's why the warning was not extended, but still some gusty winds there. So we're going to watch that little cell down there northeast of Sullivan. Nothing immediately concerning. Yeah, there's some turbulence in there, but I don't see anything that indicates a tornado is likely. And then we'll even drop south here and check that storm in Fayette County before we get one last check-in from Kevin and see what he's going to pick me up dinner-wise. If he is, we'll check in with him in a moment and then probably wrap our coverage up here from our storms for the day. All right, we're going to hit the home view reset. I'm going to draw a line here. There's Kevin on the right. Here's the Weather Center on the left. We will take a look at our Danville camera as well here in a moment. I'll just pull that on my screen, and that way we can peek at it because we'll be watching for Danville here for the next little bit. But the good news is with a downward trend, we'll still see some lightning. This camera is in downtown looking off to the west. It even looks like from watching Kevin's StormTracker shot that maybe the lightning's come down a bit. And Kevin can confirm that with us here in a minute. But we'll still watch Danville. We'll probably, by the time we get to the 9 o'clock news, the storms will be in Danville, if not on past that, and on their way into Indiana. So we will watch this, and it looks cool. It's a scary looking storm, that's for sure, but the severe threat coming on down here, that's a good news for us. That tornado watch will continue until 10 o'clock, though, just to make sure we don't have something, get out of hand and spin up or do something. But I think the later we go, the less likely that's going to be here for us with this. One warning back, Iroquois County. We'll watch the complex of storms and watch Tuscola as well, and then even watch Effingham. In fact, let's take the Effingham camera real quick because that is a new camera we have, and I think I've got it pointed to the south and I think I got pointed to the south and west there. Here's Effingham. There's the Love's truck stop. So this is looking back towards the south and west, and you probably can't see it on my screen, but if we want to bring that camera forward quick, there was one flash from Kevin. If we bring the Effingham camera full on max 2, you might be able to make it out a little bit better in there. We can kind of make out a little bit of definition off in the distance from that particular storm as it moves towards Effingham. But again, that's not a storm that looks like it's going to be something significant or severe or impactful at this point. So we will watch that. Let me just turn that camera a little more to the view there. And the other thing is, as we get closer to sunset, the sun's gone down closer to twilight, I should say, we lose the daylight. There won't be much to look at unless there's lightning. And I just haven't seen any lightning in the last little bit here. There is some, but there's not you get a large amount of lightning in a quick period of time. That's when we'll watch more, but still there's some thunderstorms coming through parts of Champaign, Hyatt, Moultrie, and Douglas counties. Thunderstorms in Fort Iroquois, Livingston County, and then looks like that storm coming through Fayette and the southern half of Effingham County here right now. All right, let's get one last check-in with Kevin, and then we're going to wrap up our coverage on digital platforms. The severe thunderstorm warnings have all been dropped, Kevin. We are about as close to severe clear as we'll be. The tornado watch continues until 10. We'll keep an eye on the sky here, but as those storms race to the east and exit our area, that severe threat continues to diminish. Kevin, go ahead and tell us one last update, where you're at and what you're seeing.
All right, yeah, just kind of continued off here to the east here and just kind of almost right there to the leading edge of this thing. I'm going to be just southwest of Homer actually, and I hope you guys still have my signal. I know it kind of gets a little rough down here with some of the cell phone coverage, but I'm going to be coming up on 49 here in just a moment. I'm going to be just south of Homer, which is where that kind of leading edge is currently passing through. But man, yeah, you talk about things weakening quite a bit. Just kind of, not looking as impressive as it once did. Still a lot of lightning. I've had a few nice CGs or cloud-to-ground lightning strikes that have like popped up here, and they look really cool, streaking across the sky. So that's kind of, our biggest danger right now, because our storms have seemingly weakened. And as you mentioned, that's good news as to why we're going to be kind of dropping off our coverage here, is because we think that severe weather threat really is diminishing, and we're going to be done with things here. So that's why Vermilion County, if you're watching us and saying, hey, why aren't you going to stay on and keep talking to us? Well, it's for a good reason. It's for the fact that we're going to be done with these storms and not have to worry about much here before too long as well. So again, I'm literally just coming in here south of Homer right now, and right ahead of the leading edge of this that does not look anything like it did a little bit earlier. I will say this, my IFB has gone out, so I'm not even sure if you guys can still hear me or not, but I cannot hear you, so I will just say this. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Or maybe you just had the mic off or something. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to probably just wrap things up here and probably swing on back through, get back to the station there, because I'm not seeing much other than just a little bit of lightning out here tonight. So, Jacob, I'll let you kind of wrap up coverage from there as things look to be calming down considerably from what they were a little bit earlier. Again, I want to encourage anybody who did have any reports of damage or hail to message us, email us, tweet us, Facebook, message us something to kind of let us know. And but I think we're going to wrap things up. You're going to let that production crew go get something to eat, aren't you?
Yeah, and I'm hoping you'll bring me something back, Kevin. You planning on stopping anywhere for me? Okay, it sounds like Kevin's just going to give me the silent treatment. That's okay. Our severe threat continues to wind down here. Again, we'll watch Kevin's side real quick here for a little bit more. But we're going to take one last look at radar and end our coverage. We'll have a live update on WCIX News at 9, and we'll continue to watch things here. We'll start north to south and keep an eye on it. First off, we'll go ahead and bring me full screen. Thanks, Kevin, for your work today. I hope we'll be done with you for the night here. Storms now. The warning dropped in Iroquois County. St. Anne, you'll have some thunder, you'll have some lightning. That's where the Clifton Central prom is tonight. But still, some of these storms to the south and west here continue to move on through. Then we drop further to the south here. We see in Champaign County, I mean, look how less intense that looks. From St. Joe to Ogden, the intensity really diminished. I mean, you might get some rain showers and a couple of rumbles of thunder in Vermilion County, and that'd be about it here. South to Tolono, we'll watch that. I'm going to keep an eye on this storm here south of Atwood over Arthur. I haven't had any reports on that particular storm yet. It's a stronger storm. There's definitely some lightning with it here. Let me flash the lightning on with for you. But I have no warning for it, and I have no indication of anything severe at this point. If there's a warning, we'll put out some notices on social media and the app. Tuscola, we'll watch that storm for you and keep an eye on that. Then, of course, the storm down by Vandalia. That's going to be south of I-70, south from Effingham southward, I think. And so we will watch that one as well, but there's nothing that indicates to me that that is a severe storm at this point. So we will continue to watch these storms, keep pushing them to the Indiana state line, and be done with things for tonight. That's what we got for you. Thanks for trusting us with the coverage here on our digital platforms. Remember, WCIX News at 9, WCI3 News at 10. I'll have updates from those for you. And if there's any need to come back, we'll be right back on digital platforms. I'm optimistic this is it for the night. We'll be done with me. And you can go about your business. Just catch us for the news if you want more updates there, and we'll keep you updated. You can also download the WCI3 weather app. There'll be thunder. There'll be lightning tonight. Might be some gusty winds. Might be a little bit of hail at times. We have the tornado watch until 10 o'clock, and that's there for an abundance of caution with storms still in the area. But things are trending down, and hopefully that trend continues here. And if not, we'll be right here ready to go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at WCIX News at 9, hopefully no sooner than that, and then again at WCI3 News at 10. Big shout out as well behind the scenes to our production crew for riding out the day with us and keeping you updated. Thanks for being with us, and if you have any reports, let us know. Otherwise, we'll see you tonight on WCI3 News at 9 and 10 o'clock. Take care. Have a great night.